Tactless People by Anna Cora Mowat Ritchie. We believe it is generally admitted that the most agreeable associates in the everyday intercourse of society are those who put us in a good humor with ourselves. Tactless people have a wonderful faculty of effecting the very opposite. However well-tuned may be the instrument they touch, their rough, inconsequent fingers always strike some jarring string. Wounded sensibility exaggerates their bluntness into insult. Confusion enters the doors where they pass in. Discord follows in their steps. There is an anecdote told of a certain officer who, having lost an arm in battle, ever after judged of the high breeding and good nature of the persons presented to him by noticing whether their eyes wandered to the empty coat sleeve. He knew that those who appeared perfectly unconscious of his loss were influenced by considerate delicacy, while those whose eyes were constantly turned to the former locality of the deficient member had souls of a rude texture, insensible to fine perceptions or sympathetic emotions. Tactless people belong to this last-mentioned order of beings, and seem to possess an especial gift of spying out and pitiless dragging to light imperfections which politeness ignores. Their scrutinizing eyes are ever upon a voyage of discovery, and who does not shrink from their merciless scanning? Who has not felt that being observed when observation is not sympathy is just being tortured? Yet from this torture we never need hope to escape while a member, especially a feminine member, of the tactless family is present. Be sure that her lynx eyes will detect the first unwelcome thread of silver that winds its shining way among raven locks, and will as certainly proclaim the unsuspected intruder. But she makes the announcement with no malicious intent. She is quite unconscious of wounding one, yet unreconciled to the sore necessity of growing old. Your tactless friend seems physically unable to avoid personalities. Let a pair of smiling lips disclose pearls of striking unnatural whiteness and regularity, and she is immediately impelled to descant upon false teeth. She unfailingly discusses the angularity and grace of meager people before those who are vainly seeking flesh in cod liver oil, and every other known promoter of rounded outlines, and she invariably expresses her disgust for unseemly rotundity before unfortunates who are martyrizing themselves by futile efforts to reduce their unsymmetrical proportion through compression and starvation, or to conceal them by manifold arts of the toilette. Tactless people are especially given to criticize dress. Woe to the hapless fair one who has been forced by poverty into some little untasteful expedient, or who bears about her a darn or a slight fracture which she nervously hoped might escape notice. Be all on peradventure a pair of rebuking, tactless eyes will forthwith fasten upon the imperfection. Beware, too, the hands of the tactless. They are human magnets to attract and draw out defects. If a vase of flowers is turned to the wall to hide an unsightly crack, if a cushion is arranged on the sofa to conceal an unlucky rent, if a curtain is adjusted over a window to veil a broken pane, if a footstool is carefully placed over an oil stain on the carpet, their hands, as if by instinct, drag away the friendly screen and reveal the hidden offense. As for French gold and plated silver and paste diamonds and imitation lace, dyed silks, cleaned gloves, and other genteel shams and expedients, there is not the faintest chance that they will pass current with your tactless guest. If perforce her lips are silent, the close investigation and significant glances of her telltale eyes quickly announce that she is not duped by the imposture. Then, if there is a sore subject to anyone present, it is always stumbled upon, though with no unkind intention, by these tactless people. They will discourse about profligate sons and thankless daughters before sorrowing parents, and rail at unworthy husbands before heartbroken wives, and bemoan the wretchedness of marriage before ill-matched partners. If a girl has been jilted, they innocently endeavor to entertain her with an account of the wedding of a gay young friend. If a sick child lies gasping in its mother's arms, the consolation they offer is a history of the deaths they have known from just such illnesses. They are very much surprised if an impression slowly reaches them that they have created confusion or occasioned distress. They assure you that they had no such design, and doubtless they had none. It was only the absence of that sixth sense called tact, which rendered them so obnoxious as companions, and which always will cause their presence to be dreaded and shunned. Singularly enough, their own sensibilities are remarkably acute. No one can be more quickly wounded than they, if their blunt speeches are retorted, and the arrows sent back hit their own vulnerable points. Do we estimate tact too highly in thinking it a positive virtue, one of the indispensable elements of an agreeable character? Was it not Dr. Johnson who said that politeness was benevolence in trifles? If politeness be the offspring of good feeling evinced in social minutiae, tact as certainly springs from the amiability which is thoughtful to spare others pain. Many a woman, endowed with noble attributes and rich in sterling virtues, has passed through life little beloved, little appreciated, and seldom sought after, because she was lamentably deficient in this one conciliating, harmonizing quality of tact, because she always rendered those with whom she associated discontented with themselves, and that engendered discontent with her. A writer who evidently weighed the importance of the social art of making oneself acceptable to others by rendering others pleased with themselves, jocosely advises a man who has failed in inspiring a woman with love for him to fill her above the brim with love for herself, assuring him that all which runs over will be his. That counselor understood the value of the word tact. End of Tactless People by Anna Cora Mawat Ritchie. Read by Kelly Taylor.